All of this ahead of the highly anticipated Federal Reserve meeting this upcoming week. They will have a rate decision on Wednesday. Joining me now to get ahead of it is former Federal Reserve Board nominee, Judy Shelton. Judy, great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. I guess my first question is to assess the macro story. We got the inflation data from the PCE Friday. We also saw that jobs data weakening. Are you worried about jobs? How would you assess things today?
Well, I think the loss of 32,000 private sector jobs is the most concerning aspect. And I'm very relieved that the PCE came in consistent with expectations, because if it had come in higher, that would have given ammunition to the people on a very divided Federal Reserve Board, the ones who want to continue to keep rates at restrictive rates, deliberately curtailing growth and economic activity, which is really the last thing you want to do if you're fighting inflation, because you want to have small business where the jobs are created to have access to capital. And right now, those small businesses have working capital loan rates of 8 to 12%, which is hard on them. It makes it difficult to expand plant and equipment and hire people. So I think this is good in that it justifies a rate cut at this next meeting.
So you are expecting then the Fed to cut rates on Wednesday, this upcoming Wednesday?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much a foregone conclusion. If we had seen a real downturn in the inflation threat, I think you could have even seen a lot of lobbying for a 50 basis point cut. Certainly, Stephen Myron would have been going for that. And whether he could bring along Chris Waller or Michelle Bowman, I'm not sure. But the Fed has this sense that it's really a trade-off between the labor market and inflation. And they've made it clear that now they're more concerned about the labor market. And I would be, too, especially the loss of private sector jobs.
President Trump is set to go on a nationwide tour next week. He is starting in Pennsylvania. He is touting his efforts on affordability and his economic wins. You have a new Gallup poll showing more Americans currently rate the economy as poor. But White House Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett told me that people will feel the effects of president's policies in the new year. Here's what he told me on Friday. Watch.
The people who have no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, they're going to get huge tax refunds in the first and second half of the year that's going to feed the demand that you need from all this higher productivity from AI. And so I think that we're looking at one of the golden years in American economic history.
What do you make of Kevin Hassett's comments that we are in a golden age of the economy?
I think that I agree with him 100%. And it really reflects this successful transition, even though I think Democrats try to make it difficult. But this successful transition, it's not really from Wall Street to Main Street. It's more, as Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says, it's a shared prosperity. And both parts of our economy, the people who do the real work and produce goods and services, along with the people in the financial sector, should all do well. And I think that all of it makes me very optimistic. And I think we're already seeing, certainly the Atlanta Fed continues to see that we're closer to a 4% growth rate even than 3%. But anything above 3% is stupendous. So, yes, I think that's all going to start hitting very, very powerfully in the first and second quarter of next year.
The president has teased Kevin Hassett could be the next chairman of the Federal Reserve. He's been largely seen as the odds-on favorite for the job, but not everybody's on board. There are some concerns over close ties to the president. What are your thoughts on Kevin Hassett becoming the next chairman of the Fed?
Well, I think Kevin Hassett is a superb economist, and I think he's a great choice. The most important aspect of his perspective is that he believes in the supply-side agenda, which is the economic agenda of the Trump administration. And so he understands the disinflationary aspects of lower taxes and a lower regulatory burden and savvy energy and trade policies. So he can encompass that sort of thinking, and he recognizes the importance of access to capital. I think on the AI question, yes, the layoffs are a concern, but I liked when President Trump said, the timing is good because we're bringing in all of this investment, much of it from foreign investors. We're setting up all of these manufacturing companies, and they're looking for workers. They're going to need these workers. So this is where the productivity gains from the technology advances could really pay off in an improved employment outlook as well.
Judy, it's great to see you. Thanks very much for all of your work. We'll be watching.